All right, people, listen. Panel reacts. Militia charged with trying to kidnap Michigan governor. Now, I know what you're thinking. In this news cycle, isn't 5 days old a little bit too long to be focusing on a domestic terrorist plot to kidnap and kill a governor of the United States of America? To which the answer is, honestly, yeah. The way things are moving right now, yeah. You know what? That's like old news 2 days after, but it's got a lot of dislikes. I'm kind of wondering what's going on here. Hold on.
Anti-government militia were charged in a plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan. Whitmer gave a speech shortly after the charges were announced where she denounced President Trump for not condemning far-right hate groups.
True.
Just last week, the President of the United States stood before the American people and refused to condemn white supremacists and hate groups like these two Michigan militia groups.
Okay. I'm not a sign language expert, but are the facial expressions a necessary component of ASL, or is she just having fun with it? They are? Okay, they are. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. I actually wanted to know. Okay.
Stand back and stand by, he told them.
Well, she is extremely expressive.
Stand back and stand by. Hate groups.
She's extremely expressive. Holy shit.
A rebuke, but as a rallying cry, as a call to action.
Then I guess she's good at her job.
When our leaders speak, their words matter. They carry weight. When our leaders meet with, encourage, or fraternize with domestic terrorists, they legitimize their actions, and they are complicit.
That is totally true, by the way. Oh, shit, we've got like a big panel here. Hello. Anyway, yeah, that's totally true. The Republicans have long normalized violent retribution against their political opponents with the language that they use, from Sarah Palin marking out political opponents with target signs on a map to Donald Trump saying, you know, somebody needs to do something about these people. What was the politician that Donald Trump said, these Second Amendment people, they need to deal with you, or something like that? For quite a while, the Republican Party has been very insistent. It was Hillary Clinton? Yeah. Very insistent on normalizing the idea of fucking killing us. So yeah, let's go into it.
Reporter Jonathan Easley and principal at the Raven Group, Eduardo Rodriguez. They join us now to discuss. Gents, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you guys. Jonathan, let's start with you here on all these happenings in Michigan. Obviously, this comes, 25 days ahead of the election. I mean, it's obviously, a very nefarious, crazy kind of plot. These are some real anarchist extremists. I was just looking to...
Hey, anarchist extremists. There we go. I knew it right off the bat, too. Remember, guys, the one person he's referring to here was an ANCAP. He posted memes on Facebook about killing commies. This dude was not a fucking anarchist.
Ringleader hates Trump, calls him a tyrant. He's like one of the original 1990s right-wing anti-government militia guys.
Okay, right-wing. Okay, wait. So is he saying anarchy is right-wing? Wait. Okay, I move past it. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack here.
Do you think this is going to have an impact on the state? What do you think?
Well, I mean, Governor Whitmer certainly is trying to make it a political issue. It's pretty amazing to see her go up and speak about this in the hours after it became public, blaming President Trump for...
How could they make this a political issue? It was a fucking kidnapping of a governor. What are you talking about? What? How could you make this a I don't really like the way the governor tried to politicize, a domestic terrorist group trying to kill her, an elected representative. That's pretty crazy to me. What are you talking about? What?
For stoking this sort of this plot against her. Michigan is obviously a battleground. We're seeing Joe Biden pull away in some of these Midwest and Rust Belt states. It's I've talked to Republicans who think Michigan is already a lost cause, but it's pretty dispiriting, really, to see how quickly things like this became political. Because I mean, it's an astonishing story. I mean, just reading that affidavit, it's quite there we go. Quite scary. I mean, we saw.
I've had the screen scratch for like 3 streams now. Sorry.
We saw sort of a blow up earlier, shortly after the pandemic took hold, with protesters out there at the state capitol, some of them armed, protesting some of the shutdown that was going on in that. So, yeah, I mean, it's clear we're 25 days out from an election. It's going to be political. Trump's.
What is it? This is the ultimate fucking virtue signal of dumb fucks. This guy is a political pundit. I assume he's on a panel on a political show. What the fuck does he mean? It's going to be this is all political. Everything that's happening is political. This is all this is virtue signaling. Guys, keep in mind, this is virtue signaling. When people say, this is to keep it political, what they're actually saying is, I don't like the politics you're demonstrating here, but I'm too much of a chicken shit coward to actually express disagreement with what you're saying, so I'm just going to disagree with the principle of you acknowledging that it's political by its nature. It's cowardice, and it's intellectually dishonest. This guy doesn't actually fucking believe there's any such thing as an apolitical kidnapping attempt on a governor from political extremists, is there? He can't actually there's no way he actually believes that.
Trump's trying to fight back here, but, it's Michigan looks like it's pulling away from him anyway, I think.
Yeah, well, and Gretchen Whitmer, much more popular in the state of Michigan than President Trump is at this point. Of course, he responded on Twitter. He said, this is a little bit lengthy, but I'm going to read it for you guys.
I'm sorry. Is Crystal Ball wearing a leather dress shirt? I'm sorry, I'm not insulting. I'm just admiring the drip. I think that's a leather dress shirt. I didn't even notice that. All right, I respect it.
Governor Whitmer of Michigan has done a terrible job. She locked down her state for everyone except her husband's boating activities. The federal government provided tremendous help to the great people of Michigan. My Justice Department and federal law enforcement announced today that they foiled a dangerous plot against the governor of Michigan. Rather than say thank you, she calls me a white supremacist, while Biden and Democrats refuse to condemn Antifa, anarchists, looters, and mobs that burn down Democrat-run cities. I do not tolerate any extreme violence. Defending all Americans, even those who oppose and attack me, is what I will always do as your president. Governor Whitmer, open up your state, open up your schools, and open up your churches.
Do you think dumb fuck on the right over here is going to criticize Donald Trump for politicizing this issue by bringing up Antifa and all that crap when it's completely irrelevant? Because the whole Trump normalizes violence thing is directly relevant to what happened to Governor Whitmer, but Trump then going, what about Antifa? That's completely fucking irrelevant. So I wonder, is he gonna criticize him for that behavior as well?
Eduardo, what do you think of all this?
Yeah, I applaud Governor Whitmer because she's done what so many have wanted leaders to do: call President Trump out for the racial division and the hatred he has stoked. He has, since Charlottesville in Virginia, he has refused to condemn white supremacy. He has refused to stand with the people who are protesting for civil and human rights. Instead, he decides to say that there are good people on both sides. And you cannot equate people who are going to the governor's, to the footsteps of the governor's mansion of the state capitol armed, as they did in Michigan and in other states, when he's tweeting out, take back Michigan or free Michigan.
So I swear to, I let you say your piece, but we got to be clear here, man. Like,
wait, hold on, wait. Sauger has a word to say. You let the other guy talk uninterrupted, but hold on, whoa. I have to admit, when it came to which guy would be right-leaning, which guy would be left-leaning, I expected the guy with, like, the hipster stash and the denim shirt to be the left-leaning one, and the older guy in the suit to be the right-leaning one, like if I had to sort of assign that. But you know what? That's my fault for stereotyping clothing, and I am growing as a human being for having my expectations challenged.
Like, these people it looks like they hate Trump just as much as they hate Governor. Like I said, these are OG anti-government people. There's no indication whatsoever that they're white supremacists.
You don't really know that, Sam.
Well, no, there's literally video of the organizer saying it, so I do know it, actually.
I don't. You know what? The level of hatred and white supremacy, the different factions that have been stoked against both government and people of color in this country, that is at the core of what Donald Trump has done to this country.
I'm pretty sure you can look at the guys who were arrested and look at their Facebook feeds, and they were posting like pro Kyle Rittenhouse, like anti-BLM shit. They may be generally anti-government, but you know who else is anti-Trump and also anti-Dems? neo-Nazis. Neo-Nazis think that Trump is cucked by Israel, but also think that BLM is destroying the white race or whatever. That doesn't mean they're not white supremacists. They posted QAnon stuff as well. Yeah.
Breaking in Virginia at this hour, we're waiting to hear if the courts will be forced to respond after
What the fuck? Chill!
This has nothing to do
Holy
with
shit! Okay, we're back. Why the fuck did that video player just start? Jesus Christ. Okay, we're back. Chill.
Both government and people of color in this country, that is at the core of what Donald Trump has done to this country since day one.
But this has nothing to do with white supremacy. That's the point that I'm making here. I mean,
QAnon, pro Kyle Rittenhouse, anti BLM. I mean, you could hypothetically construct a person who would want to murder a Democratic governor while also wanting to kill communists and destroy BLM, and also is pro QAnon, who isn't a white supremacist. But you'd have to thread a really tight line, and it really doesn't seem as likely as some alternative conclusions you can come to here.
I mean, look, you can say liberate Michigan, anti-government. Okay, like fine.
How many people did you actually see on the footsteps? How many people of color armed with guns? Had you seen anyone of color with rifles at the state capitol? Then maybe we could have a conversation about that. But the racism, the anti-Semitism, all these factors against people of color in this country have pictures of white men with guns. I don't see people of color standing up to take back the state of Michigan or any other state.
True.
Jonathan, let me get you in here. I mean, I think one of the things that we've tracked here on this show is how incredibly fraught and tense and on edge this country is. And so I think a lot of people, when they saw this plot revealed, it confirmed for them just what a scary place we're in. I mean, you have something like I saw polled, like 70% of Americans are fearful of violence after the election results. You have majorities of Biden supporters and a plurality of Trump supporters who say that they won't accept the results effectively. If their candidate doesn't win, they won't believe that it's a legitimate election.
The difference being that one of the people saying he won't accept the results of a loss is the president of the United States. I don't give a fuck about first of all, I need a source on Biden supporters saying that. Trump supporters have been saying that this whole thing is a coup since day one. But the principal issue here is that it's the Republican Party that is openly announcing their intent at a coup. That's the kind of fundamental issue here, you know? People get mad whenever their political candidate loses pretty much every time. That just seems to be how things work. But I would still need a source in the idea that Biden supporters... Yeah, Biden has literally said he would support the results if he lost, like, you know, unequivocally. Trump can't do that.
You know, how are you, as we come down to Election Day and this incredibly tense and fraught period of time, how are you thinking about those numbers and what we may witness after Election Day?
No, I mean, this is a huge issue right now. I mean, early on in the pandemic, you had really, smart people that study the, socioeconomic landscape, warning about social cohesion being torn apart. I mean, a lot of times it feels like the country's being ripped apart at the seams with these political divisions and whoever you want to blame for it. I mean, but President Trump...
whoever you want to blame for just these, like, rifts that just kind of appeared, dude. Like, this division just came up. Like, I don't know. I don't really know what happened there. So whoever did it, I don't know.
Trump is partly responsible. Social media is partly responsible. The political polarization that's going on, not just in Washington, but across the country. It's off the charts. And I think a lot of people are sort of bracing for, no matter who wins, you can expect that about half the country is going to be upset, and there's going to be protests in the streets, and anyone really knows.
The fundamental difference, that is true, of course, no matter who wins, half the country will be upset, except it's actually 30% of the country will be upset if Trump loses, because the Republican Party is smaller than the Democrat Party, and we should win any time because our popular vote always trends in favor of the Democrats. But the main difference is if Trump loses, his fans will get really mad and commit a wave of terrorist attacks across the country. Let's not delude ourselves. Hate crime has skyrocketed after 2016. we know what's going to happen if Trump loses. These people are going to talk about how George Soros and Hillary Clinton and Obama conspired to use the virgin blood of the children they raped to form a amalgam of bone and blood that marched over to the fucking polling boxes and used eldritch magic to rip from them the Republican votes. They're going to invent some crazy shit, and mosques are going to be burned, synagogues are going to be shot, black neighborhoods are going to have patrols of Trump supporters driving through them in trucks, wielding guns. We know what's going to happen, okay? We all know what's going to happen. And the difference is, if Trump wins, the exact same thing will happen. The burnt mosques, the shot synagogues, the rows of domestic terrorists running through black neighborhoods, the exact same thing will happen. Either they're angry and lash out, or they're empowered and they lash out. That's the only possible outcome here. There is no world in which fucking Biden supporters lose their shit and start committing hate crimes.
Whether they're going to be better or worse depending on who wins, but people
and Jonathan,
are...
One of the things that I know you've been covering as well is some of the ballot issues, the complications. We've talked about the naked ballots in Pennsylvania, the potential legal challenges, just the unusual landscape of this election, given that it's occurring during a pandemic, and given that you have a disproportionate number of Republicans who plan to vote on Election Day in person and of Democrats who plan to vote by mail. Lay on some of that for us as well.
Oh, yeah. Give us your
we're
analysis.
Effectively running an election year experiment right now with voting. A lot of these states have moved very quickly to get out some of these mail-in absentee ballots. There's states that have a long history of doing this that have been very successful in getting these ballots out, making sure that that voters follow all the protocols and counting them quickly. There are other states that are moving very quickly to do this and don't necessarily have the experience or expertise to get up on this. So, I mean, that's another, obviously, a real fear is...
Based on what? What evidence is there that states are trying to roll out more mail-in voting, don't have the facilities to... Hey, if you cared about them having the facilities to handle this properly, you would have issues with Trump's handling of the USPS. So the main factor here, which contributes to electoral uncertainty, the real experiment, is coronavirus.
Breaking in Virginia at this hour, we're waiting to hear if the courts will be forced to respond.
You're getting muted. Goodbye. I forgot what I was going to say.
Questions over rejected ballots in some of these states that might be very close, states that Trump won by only thousands of votes in 2016. What if there are a large number of rejected ballots and they lean toward one party, toward one racial group even? I mean, this is really, stuff that it's people that could have people doubting the outcome of the election.
Yeah, weird how there's one party in particular keeps signaling that they're going to delegitimize mail-in ballots and challenge legally mail-in balloting as an institution, of constantly fraudulently accused mail-in ballots of being illegitimate ways of... On
November 3rd.
Yeah, I think that's right. Eduardo, what do you make of that? Because we also saw like Hillary Clinton. She came out and said that Biden should not accept the defeat under any circumstances until everything is counted with mail-in ballots and more. Could lead to like a Florida 2000 situation. If you're privy to how are the Democrats thinking about how this election is going to turn out, challenging ballots and so much more?
You thought the scars from the 2000 ballot count were bad enough, and then we see what happened again in 2016 at the popular vote versus the electoral vote. I think Hillary Clinton's right. This is an unprecedented time. Both sides agree it's an...
Guys, should you count all the ballots before deciding the winner? Experts remain divided.
Unprecedented time. And we see that with the historic number of mail-in ballots that have been requested, the amazing number, over 1 million votes already cast. I don't even know what the number is now, but every day people are voting already. This is no longer about election day, it's about election season. So we absolutely have to wait until every vote is counted. So the rhetoric of yesteryear, when we just accept the results on election day, that's no longer going to be the case. We have to wait and see how many votes are counted and not rush, as Al Gore did, quickly to concede that night back in 2000. Instead, he should have waited until every vote was counted. Of course, that was ultimately decided by the Secretary of State of Florida and the Supreme Court. So we'll leave that for another conversation.
And
Nice meme. All right. So the governor kidnapping attempt was non-political, and it is apparently an issue of dispute whether or not we should count all the votes. Okay. Nice. Good. High IQ engagement, as always. Oh, the comments? Yes. How crazy to make kidnapping a politician a political issue. Domestic terrorists should not be labeled a militia. It's laughable to say the governor is making this political. 10 out of 10 sign language lady. Okay, that's definitely true. Is this guy seriously blaming Whitmer for making it political when they were literally politically motivated terrorists? Clutching at pearls moment. Best sign language interpreter of all time. Okay, I'm here for it. Domestic terrorist is the proper name. Read deeper into the story. The founder of the Wolverine Watchmen, Pete Musico, is a MAGA guy. Whoa. The people who did the terrorist attack on a Democrat were far right, or were planning to? That's crazy. Y'all need to get your audio figured out? Oh, okay, well. Yes. Yeah.